Hello and welcome to episode 206 of This Week at Gear Report for the 25th of April, 2024. Man, we've been at this a little while. And you see suppressorman.com, Kevin over there getting
Hello.
some social lubricant in his system before we get started. I'm sure that's going to be helpful. I should probably do that myself a little bit. I have a question for you, Kevin, not to derail things right away, but I'm going to make you big on the screen and ask you about the cases that are back there. I don't recall seeing the cases. I think maybe I've seen them before, but not a lot. Are those like little cloth pistol cases or what are
The-
those?
These guys right here.
The red, the black, and
Yeah,
yeah.
those are from Savior Equipment,
Oh,
actually.
okay.
The pistol cases, and so
Oh, okay.
see them.
Okay, good. Yeah.
They've got
And
like those Velcro strips on the outside.
yeah, I thought they looked familiar, and I just actually went to grab one because it's probably the same ones I have, just different colors. But
Yep. Yeah,
I
I
don't,
have.
I don't remember where I put them. They were. Oh, I took the. I didn't mean to take the screen back. I meant to do that. There we go.
I have a couple black, and I have a one of the red ones, and I really want one of the gray ones.
Yeah,
You
I
know.
think I have a black and a gray.
Mm-hmm.
Because Savior's really good about bringing swag to different events most of the time. So I've ended up with several from that. I mean, I think maybe I have a tan one too. I don't know. It's the sad thing is I've got a bunch of them and I don't actually use them. So I should probably find someone who can use them and see if I can pass them along. So let's see. Let's look at our agenda. Our typical agenda. We'll just review that while we're waiting for the throngs of people to show up and start commenting. This is This Week at Gear Report. We'll get that out of the way. We are going to talk about recent reviews. We've got, I think, 4 that have been published. I know I published 4 right before the show. I'm looking. Yeah, I think that's the last. I don't think there were any more before that since the last program. So we will have recent reviews. We'll talk about reviews that will be published soon. I don't know if TJ's going to make it tonight. He may have something. I don't know if Kevin has something coming. I have got several things that I've been writing that are real close. And then AJ has been a freaking machine lately. All 4 of them today are going to be from him. He's got 4 more, or 4 or 5 more that'll be in the next batch. Will we get to Guitar Mageddon today? I don't know. TJ's happy hour. Who's to say? Yeah, I don't know yet. TJ did promise me he was going to make it tonight, but I haven't seen him yet. So we shall see. Apparently he's having computer problems. And I said, well, just use your phone. And he's like, but I don't want to do that. So maybe he'll be here. Maybe he won't. We are going to intersperse repeal the NFA and boo ATF in there. Kevin, yes or no? Are we going to have a patch of the week segment?
Yeah. I'm prepared.
Okay, we'll come back to that. Let's see. We used to do this other segment, and we don't have to do that anymore because Kevin's in the same place in his studio. He spent some money building out a studio, so now he stays in his studio most of the time.
Yeah, it's awesome.
All right. So let's see. Where should we go? I actually came in and set everything up ahead of time, but then I forgot to actually preload the screen. So all I had to do was click add to screen. So what we're going to do here, we're going to go through these pretty quickly. I like when the author is here to have them go through and discuss in a little bit more detail. But since AJ doesn't typically join us on the program, we're going to go through kind of fast. If you want to see them in more detail, I'm going to grab the URL and try to remember to drop each one in the comments. There we go, so that you'll have the URL where you can go check out the video, or you can go to the main GearReport.com website and find each one of these there because they're recently published. The Viridian C5L Universal Rechargeable Light and Laser. That sounds really cool to me. I don't know what you think, Kevin, but I do at times appreciate the ability to take a dead battery out and replace it with a fresh battery. But most of the time, I have the way I use things, I have an opportunity to plug them in and charge them, and they get me through whatever use I need that I plug them in for the next time, and that works real well. So what do you think? Rechargeable or replaceable batteries? What do you like?
I love the idea of rechargeable batteries. That's awesome. I mean,
Yeah.
because obviously by the time, sometimes by the way is dead, you know,
Yeah.
and so like
Yep.
as you're playing with different stuff in the queue and working through different firearms, I mean, I don't know. I don't know. I can see a definite advantage to having a rechargeable battery there.
All right. What did I do here? Oh, I'm clicking the wrong things. I want to put that back. That's where I wanted it. Okay, so the C5L Universal Rechargeable Light and Laser got a 4.5 out of 5 gears. That is the highest rating that's ever been given here at Gear Report. We've never had an absolutely perfect product. 4.5 is that's like a 5 for any other place. Or if it only goes to 5, that's like a 7 on Amazon. You know, because everyone just tosses out, you get a 5 and you get a 5 and you get a 5 on Amazon. We don't do that here. You got to actually earn it. So this is a very highly rated. I think it's fair to say that AJ absolutely loves this based on the rating. You can see there's a video in here if you want to go watch it. That is on AJ's one of AJ's channels. I'm not sure. It's probably on the Cedar Mill Fine Firearms channel. You have to go check that out. But he also featured the AREX Delta M from our friends over at Global Ordnance. So you'll definitely want to check that out while you're in here reading the article. He's got a long list of pros, a shorter list of cons, final thoughts, a bunch of pictures on that AREX Delta M. So definitely go check that out if you like weapons lights. And I'm just going to say, from looking at the picture right here, it's very unlikely it's going to interfere with a suppressor. So I
Yeah,
think
looks like it's
it
low enough.
passes. Yeah. Have you seen yet the one that Kyle is coming out with at KG Made that clips onto that little the little pick rail under the barrel
Yeah,
and
I've
then
seen
makes
it.
up flat?
I've seen it. Yeah.
I have pretty strong reservations, but apparently they put a lot of rounds through it and it's doing okay. So I'm just interested to see what that looks like when it comes out. I don't remember what they called it, but anyhow, we shall see. My friend Bill is working over there now, so I'm sure that when they have it available, he'll let me know and we can figure out how that's going to work out. Let's see. The Riton 1, so we went from a light laser to an optic, and this 6 to 24 by 50 means this is like more of a long range type optic to go on maybe a bolt gun, maybe an AR with a little longer barrel, and a caliber or cartridge that is more dialed in for long range. If you wondered, looking at the last review that got a 4.5, is AJ one of those folks that just throws everyone like really high ratings? Well, you can see on this one, 2.5 out of 5. That's still not a bad rating. I've had brands get upset, like, what do you mean 2.5? So let's take a look at this so that we know what we're looking at here. 2.5 means an average or a bit below average product. Okay, I could see where brands might get a little upset about that, but you can see AJ's not just throwing out 4.5 for you and a 4.5 for you. Like, you got to earn it, right? That's how it is here. So he says, as an entry level optic, it offers a compelling feature set at a budget friendly price. So there you go. I think that kind of tells you what we're looking at here. And it looks like he put it on an RPR, a Ruger precision rifle, which Do you have one of those, Cab? Oh, I think he's muted. I saw his mouth moving.
Believe it or not, I don't have one of those
You
yet.
don't? I don't
Nope.
have one now. I had when they came out with what was it? Was it when they came out with the 6.5 Creedmoor? I think they sent me one, and I, you know, people who don't review guns don't understand. Like, what do you mean you didn't keep it? Did you not like it? I'm like, no, I only have so much room in the gun room, and people were willing to give me enough money for that one that I parted with it, and I kind of wish I had it back. A lot of guns that I've sold, that reviewed and sold, I don't miss. That's one that I kind of miss and wish I could get back. Um, yeah, I like the RPRs. I think it's a good concept and they executed it fairly well. A couple things I'm not thrilled with, but I think they could have done better. But overall, to get at the price point that they were at, I thought it was a pretty good rifle. So go check that out if you're looking for an entry level. You know what? Now I'm curious. He said entry level. What does that mean? So that means 3 to 350 is what they're looking at for there. So
Mm-hmm.
that feels a little more than entry level to me, but it really depends on what you're doing with it, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So
If
we're
ever you
gonna
don't
keep
have enough room in the gun room, you just need to build another gun room.
well, that's a good point. Um, and you know what I had done years ago is I had display racks back behind the camera. So instead the guitar wall, it really came about as kind of I wanted a neutral because I'll do shows about camping. We do shows about military vehicles and guns and obviously the guitar stuff. With all the different things I do, I wanted something a little bit more neutral. So that's how the guitar wall came about. But I had a gun wall, and it's funny. I've still got the. I can't remember what they're called. The military gun racks. It's like an M19 or something. I can't remember. Um,
The ones for rifles.
yeah, it's basically the old M16 racks where they're vertical and they hold. I could go count because I got two of them sitting just right off camera here. It's they hold 8 or 10 rifles or something. Um,
Mm-hmm.
anyhow, I bought a surplus lot of I got 8 or 10 of them maybe a few years ago, and a bunch of Humvee tires and a couple other parts through the government auction. I drove down to Fort Bragg back when it was still called Fort Bragg. Um, yeah, G-Web says they can be used for many firearms besides M16s, right? But as far as I know, that's what they were designed for. The ones I'm talking about, and they're worth a lot. I don't know about these. I was struggling to get $100 a piece for them when I was selling them, and I've actually got a couple of these racks left. Um, so understand YouTube and other people who like to censor things. I am not talking about selling firearms right here. I'm saying that the racks that you can lock them up in so they're safer. I was selling for I was trying to sell them locally for $100 a piece and struggling. And I've got 3 or 4 of those racks left now. I think 2 of them here. I think there's one in the gun room. Can't remember if I have any anywhere else, but yeah, they're really nice racks. I tipped the camera over that direction, but there are too many other things over there that we don't need to put on the screen. G-Web says he'll take them, which would be easy if G-Webs were here in North Carolina and not out in Arizona. Because the based on size and weight, I think those would have to go on a pallet. It costs more to ship them than it would to actually purchase them, I think. Okay, so let's move on to our next one
Possible.
here. Another one from AJ. Again, we got 4 of them from AJ today. the Viridian RFX 45 review. It's a closed emitter green dot reflex sight. And this is something that seems to be becoming more popular, where instead of having just a little bit of a frame up around the glass at the far end, they're building it. It's turned into a little rectangle now. For me, that started with the first one I got like that was the Vortex. What do they call it? Oh crap. I'm blanking on what it's called, but it looks like a big tank. It's huge. And this looks like a little smaller version. And let's see. He gave it 4 out of 5. That's pretty good. 4 out of 5 means stands out as a top option in the product class and price point. Oh, I almost forgot the link for that I'll put here in the comments. So there we go. We'll show that from the Humvee GearReport channel now. All right. So you can see this is much smaller than that Vortex one that's huge. AMG UH1, something like that. This is a much smaller one that he has mounted off to the side on, he says a 35-degree offset mount beside a Blackhound optics scope. So there we go.
Do you remember Hollow Sun had their AEMS one? This guy right here.
All right, let me put you up on the big screen.
Remember that
one?
Yeah.
I
The
don't think I've seen
AEMS
that
from
one
Hollow
before.
Sun?
That looks fake.
Yeah, well, it's a patch.
As I was saying that looks fake, I was like, that's a patch, isn't it?
It is a patch.
Yeah.
But that was that one. And then I remember the Acro coming out, right? That one was really popular. And so, yeah, interesting though, for sure. Seems like a lot of them are they're going to be more durable, right? They're going to take a little bit more of a beating than like your Romeos or your Vortex Venoms.
Well,
Right? Some of those.
They went smaller with those to reduce weight. And oh, wrong button again. I'm trying to get us both up on here. There we go. I like the smaller, small frame and lighter, easier to put in a case, easier to carry, but I guess do you think they were seeing durability issues and people were just saying, no, we want it fully enclosed so we don't get dirt and moisture and stuff on the inside of that lens? I mean, what do you think's driving the change to this being fully enclosed?
That's kind of what I was thinking,
Yeah.
I saw Swamp Fox had released one too.
Yeah.
And so it seems to be kind of a trend in the industry of optics going that direction.
Yeah.
The most recent one from Swapvox, it's called the Kraken. Right? And has the same thing, has like the closed dot emitter.
Yeah.
So exciting stuff.
Yeah, yeah. I want to get my hands on that one. I don't think I've actually put hands on that. I probably should have gone by their booth and checked them out at SHOT Show, but that one did not happen. So let's see. The last one from AJ. This is the last of our recently published reviews. And man, he's mixing them up. From Obsidian Arms, the 3-gun Thunderbreak compensator. That looks to me like it would be an absolute nightmare for everyone sitting near you if you happen to be like out on a public range or something.
Sure. Looks like something you'd see on a 338.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. I know people who would purchase it just to rattle everyone around them. And I know people who would be like, well, I won't use it at a range because I don't want to bother people. So I'm not going to say which of those categories I might fit in. Although, to be honest, it's going to vary depending on who's around me. If the
Mhm.
people around me are nice, then I will likely not use a brake like that. If they're getting under my skin, then the can comes off and the brake goes on. So this one got a 4 out of 5, also a pretty strong rating from AJ. And do you take it personally that we're talking about a brake instead of a suppressor, Kevin?
No, it's okay. It's okay.
I I didn't want to.
Those
I
brakes are
didn't
just
want
so
to.
much easier. They're cash items. I mean, they're so much easier.
Yeah, yeah, no
It's
doubt.
nice.
Well, and they fill a certain purpose that sometimes you need that, and you just have to wear your ear pro. So there we go. That is going to conclude the recent reviews portion of our program. And before we go into reviews that will be published soon, I'm just going to roll in and tell you guys about something I've been working on lately. This article you can see was published in oh wow, we're the 24th, we're the 25th of April, so we are what, 7 years ago this was published. 7 years and 2 days ago this was initially published in April of 2017, and I go through it periodically and update things. And one of the reasons I wanted to talk about this here, that's me in the orange, and then my son down here with the blue shorts backpacking at Philmont Scout Ranch out in New Mexico in 2017. And I go through after every year and either put things that I learned or things that other people learned, depending if I go out and do a trek out there. I'll add those recent learnings, but then it is also a list of every type of equipment that you would need for this backpacking trek. So this is a super long article. It's probably too long, and that's why I've broken some of it out into separate articles. Like this backpacking section here, I actually have a separate article it's really just an excerpt from this big one where I pull out the backpack section and put all of those backpack recommendations in a separate article. But this has tons and tons and tons of product categories where I've got some discussion where I give you my thoughts and opinions. And then also, like you see on, where was it? Here, I'm quoting some other people, Andy Parrish from Andy Parrish Outdoors and his recommendation, and some comments from other people, several other people throughout the article. So this is a huge article. I'm working my way through it and updating links as well as filling in new information, as technology changes. And like this product here, for example, Outdoor Vitals Summit 30-degree down sleeping bag, when I initially listed it years ago, it was $110. I'm thinking, let's see what it is today. The new version of it today is $445.
Oh my
So things
goodness.
have changed quite a bit. And that's why I have to go through and update this article periodically. The reason I wanted to bring this up is it has blown my mind as I go through and click on things and see what they cost. I had many, many references like you see right here where I said what it cost. And then I go click on the link and see what it costs today. Products like that sleeping bag, the bag is completely different than it was. It's a new bag with the same name, but it's completely different. So that has something to do with why the price went up. But a lot of these products are the exact same thing, and it was $25 when I listed it, and it's $45 now or something like that. They are almost double for these, commodity camping products. Yeah, this one I think was about $28, 28 or $30, and now we're pushing 48 to $58. And that is absolutely typical of what I have found scrolling through here. I found a couple chairs, backpacking chairs, that the price didn't change. but I found so many things where I'm having to go through and rewrite sections because, um, this is a budget backpacking gear article, and some of the stuff that was budget just isn't budget anymore. So,
Sure. When
anyhow,
was the
I
last
thought I
time you
would
were out
share
at
that.
Philmont?
What's that?
When was the last time you were out at Philmont?
22,
Sweet.
and I'm supposed to be going in July. Pretty sure it's July this year, um, which is unusual that someone would not know exactly what they're doing. I was not gonna go because I have some personal things going on this year. Yeah, so it'll be mid-July. If I make the trek that I'm thinking that I'm gonna do, it's gonna be mid-July. And usually a Philmont trek is something that is planned with a group of people, either a troop or a crew or a ship, a scout unit will take 8 to 12 people and go do this trek. Or maybe the local council will do it and they'll have a crew or two people from different units. I do it completely different the last few times because I run a big group with 20,000 people, um, who are generally the adult leaders that are taking scouts out to Philmont. I have frequent opportunities where someone is just short on an adult and they're like, well, yeah, hey, come with us. So that's what's happening in July. I was not going to go this year, but one of my kids has signed a contract to work at Philmont in the backcountry this summer. Um, and she had said, hey, if you can, why don't you come out and do a trek so you can visit me? And I was like, oh, an excuse to go on a big backpacking trip, to take 2 weeks off of work and go backpacking. Um, I think I'll do that. So,
That's awesome.
so that's had
Last
me focused on a lot backpacking gear a lot more recently.
the first and last time that I was out there was 2003.
Yeah.
So it's been a minute.
So you were out and did a trek out there?
I did. Yeah. I
That's
hiked up Baldy Mountain,
yeah.
right? I went to the Poniel bar, the root beer bar,
Yeah.
right?
Did
Had a
you
blast.
yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I'm excited. The first 2 times I went, we did both the north and south parts of the ranch, North Country and South Country. Um, and then the last 2 times I was only in the south. Well, the south has the Tooth of Time and a couple other big peaks, Comanche Peak, which I hate because it's always cold, and Mount Mitchell. Um, is it Mount Mitchell? No, Mount Phillips is what I was thinking about. But the big one, Baldy, is in the North Country, and I haven't been there since 2017. So I'm pretty excited that the trek that and here I am on Baldy. Hold on, I gotta bring that back up here. That's me in the background being silly.
Nice.
Um, but yeah, I haven't been up in the North Country since 2017, so I'm excited that I may get to do both North and South this year. It's slated for a 90-mile trek, and typically, when people have their watches that track mileage, they're coming up about 50% more when you count all the walking and side hike stuff that you do. So it'll
Sure.
probably be average a little over 10 miles a day for that trip. So,
This was on top of Baldy Mountain,
oh my
2003.
goodness. Yeah. Looks like it was warm up there for you guys.
Oh, it was beautiful. Beautiful.
Yeah.
Huh.
I've
We
been
had a
on
good
top.
time.
I've been up there twice, and it was cold and windy both times. Like miserably cold and windy both times.
Sure.
Yeah. Yeah. I
I've
mean,
got
you
a
see,
uh, I've got a couple other photos to show you of my exploits from last week.
yeah.
I was working with the Army, and right here you'll see where I signed for 10,000 rounds of 5.56
That's cool.
M855 Alpha 1 ball ammunition,
Yeah.
right? So we had 10,000, or no, we had 11,080 rounds of 5.56, and we had
Yeah.
1,900 rounds of 9 mil, and
Wow.
we shot the M17s, right? The
Yeah.
new M17 from the Army. Did a weapons qual on that. qualified expert first time.
Nice.
And there's some bullets.
Wow.
And this I thought was interesting, right? Where
That is interesting.
they had taken the weapon that used to be 3-round burst and they converted it back to full auto.
Oh. Huh.
And
So
so
are burster just gone now? They don't do burst anymore?
they're phasing them out. Yeah,
Huh.
phasing them out. But I thought it was so strange how they marked it.
Yeah.
And
That is
then
interesting.
I wouldn't have been a good week without a suppressor. So
Yeah.
I've got one that locks on the A2 flash hider there.
Interesting.
hmm So I didn't have to modify the weapon to throw it on there.
Huh.
And there's one of my targets. You can see like that green group, and then there's a red group, and I like kind of
Yeah.
walked it into the center.
That's the tightest full auto group I've ever seen. You're like a machine.
Yeah, that's pretty cool though.
Yeah. Yeah.
And one of the uh, edges of the firing line, right? There's the shooting lanes, and we're shooting at like these 25-meter targets. Do you see
So
these guys down here?
what was the hole though? I
So
didn't recognize
this
that.
the hole is a foxhole, right?
Uh-huh.
This is a foxhole down here, and it was filled with water, and there was a bunch of brass that was flying in there, so I had to like crawl into the water and get it. But this is the
Is it
initial
supposed to
portion.
be full of water or it
No,
just
it's not.
happened?
No, it just happened to have water down in it.
Okay.
But so what you do with the weapon is that you'll zero it at 25 meters with this target, right? And once you get it to where you're consistently hitting the center of this target, then you'll go out to the weapons call range, which looks like this.
Yeah.
And so these are all the shooting lanes right here. And can't see any targets popped up here, but each one of these berms has a target behind it,
Uh-huh.
right? And so there's some at 50 meters, there's some at 100, 150, 200, 250, and 300 meters. And so that's part of like the firing sequence is you'll have, 3 targets pop up and you have to kind of engage them from front to rear.
Huh.
And it's fun. It was a good time.
It
And
sounds like
so
it.
I spent a lot of time managing the ammo shack. And right
Huh.
there's all 11,000 rounds of 5.56 as we were turning it in.
Huh. So that's all like empty brass?
Yeah, it's all brass. So they account for all of the brass to make sure that you have all of it, right?
Huh.
And that's as we were turning it into the ammo point there at Fort Stewart, Georgia. It was exciting. It was
Well,
200 and I think it was 284 pounds.
wow.
And then I think that's it. Yeah. But there's a couple photos of that annual training, you know,
Yeah.
shooting some targets. It was the
Yeah.
first time I
That's
got to
cool.
do the weapons qual on the M17.
Yeah. Huh.
So that's pretty fun stuff. Pretty good times.
Well, I saw the back of a Humvee there, which got me excited as well. So, let's
I
see.
drive lots of Humvees, man. Lots of Humvees.
Right.
It doesn't excite me nearly as much.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's not nearly as exciting. I do still like it because you can definitely go places in a Humvee you can't go with, a two-wheel drive car.
Yeah. Yeah. So something I'm thinking about, and I'll ask you and anyone who happens to be out there if you have any thoughts on it. I'm going to come back to this screen here. I'm looking at cameras, and this is the one that I'd never actually heard of before. Have you heard of this from Insta360, the Ace Pro?
To Leica.
Yeah,
Leica's a
I used
good
to
camera.
run this. Um, It's a little more expensive. I think the GoPro 12, the Hero 12, and the DJI Action 4, maybe it's the same price as the GoPro, and then the DJI was $299 instead of $399. But I saw one of these. I'm thinking about getting a new action camera, is where this is coming
Mhm.
from, because when I do the backpacking trips, I like to carry a waterproof, durable camera that's really small and light and compact, and I have found that the action cameras work really well for that. So
Mhm.
I've carried a GoPro Hero 7 Black on the last 2 treks, the 21 and 22 trek, and it was kind of an old camera when I got it. A friend sold it to me for $100 a few years ago. Um,
Mhm.
and it does well enough, but I feel like I've got some personal trips coming up in a couple weeks, so I've been doing some shopping, like, well, if I'm gonna get a new camera for the trek this summer, maybe I should get it now so I can take it on the personal trips and then take it on the backpacking trip as well.
Right.
Um,
That way your first time doing it's not on the backpacking trip when you're
well,
trying to figure out batteries and coordinate,
yeah,
you know what I mean?
that's true. Oh, see,
So,
that's a concern, because look at this. The kit with the charger and additional batteries and stuff is $500. Like that,
right.
I mean, it's only $110 more, but still, it's like, ugh, do I really
Mhm.
want to get up into that price range when I have a camera that actually works
Mhm.
and does okay, or do I stick with it? But I'm telling you, I saw a side by side by side. A guy had a rail that he put 4 cameras on, and one is like the control camera that's documenting what's happening with the other 3, and then the other 3, like, he starts them all and then he does something, and then he'll show all 3 of them on the screen at the same time so you can see the differences. And I thought that this Insta 360 Ace Pro was by far the sharpest picture, the best colors. Everything about it was better than the GoPro 12, Hero 12 Black, or the DJI Action 4, I think is what they called it.
Sure.
So,
Well,
I'm
that brand Leica, you've heard of them before, right?
yeah, yeah,
They're a well-known, well-known brand in the camera industry.
yeah,
So, I mean, they were building those like 35 millimeter cameras,
yeah, definitely.
you know? So,
Who was
that's
it
awesome.
we had on from Liberty Suppressors? What's his name? Is it Dale? I
No,
think.
no, Dale is with Diligent.
All right. I'm going to find out real quick here. Liberty David, that's who it is, David. And I apologize to David that I knew it was a D. I just am not that smart and I forget people's names. So he was on, it must have been a year ago or 9 months ago or something, and he does a lot of photography stuff. And he was talking about the Leica cameras and lenses and whatnot, and had very good things to say about them. But I'm telling you, just that side by side by side videos, when I watched it, I was like, well, I know what I'm getting now. It was pretty easy to sort through and say, which one looked like the best picture. So I'm going to go
Mhm.
ahead and, just for kicks, I'm going to drop that link in the let's see, Insta 360 Ace Pro. I'm going to drop that in the chat as well. If anyone wants to go check it out, um, I am so tempted to pick one up. So we'll have to see
Mhm.
if that happens. I don't know. I don't know anyone at the company. I wish I could, send someone a note and get a review sample, but I don't think that's going to happen.
Right.
Yeah. Okay, so let's move on to reviews that will be published soon. What do you have that do you have anything that you think will be headed our way anytime soon?
My next one in the queue is the RX-01 Delta,
Uh-huh.
right? I'm getting things together for that. And I have a really, really cool uh, opportunity on the horizon with 1791 gun leather,
Uh-huh.
right? And they're sending me one of their holsters right now to do a product review and some background on.
That's cool.
And, it could be a progressive growth type of thing. So
Sure.
I'm kind of interested to see how that goes.
Are you in with their other company as well? Because
The
like on the affiliate
1791.
side, they've got the well, they're calling it the 1791 Outdoor Lifestyle Group, and they
Hmm.
have the 1791 Everyday Carry as well as the holsters.
Yep. 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 So I'll have a few products from all of those, from the everyday carry section and from the holsters and gun leather stuff as well.
Yeah. They
So,
we've worked with them a little bit over the years, and they've been really good to work with, and actually reached out recently to say, "Hey, we got this other program. What would you like to do?" And I've just been too busy to even get back and say what we'd like to do. So, as long as you're getting everything you need, that's fine. If you need anything else, let me know and I'll send a note and see if we
no, it
can
should
make any additional things happen.
it should be good. I'm kind of
Yeah,
excited for it.
awesome. So what we've got I'll just tell people what we have here in the queue. Also, these are all from AJ, and he has submitted them. They're in pending, so I need to go in and edit the Viridian Pinch 35-degree adjustable offset mount, Streamlight Stryon 2020 rechargeable handheld flashlight, Highland Tactical Titan, and Armor 21-inch carry-on luggage. That's interesting. And then the Streamlight Speed Locker portable lockable storage container. So those are all coming from AJ, and hopefully they'll all be published before the show next week so that we can talk about them next week. And
Nice, nice.
I have um, I have some camping articles geared towards Philmont stuff. The two or three of those that I've been working on that are getting close to being ready to publish. I have the Fender Squire debut series Stratocaster electric guitar review. I really need to get that one posted real soon because that is a hot product um, that has really turned some heads and is generating some buzz. And I got one through the Amazon Vine program, uh, and I've already posted videos on it, but I really need to get that written review up as well. So videos are still going up on our various different. Pull that up over here on our various different video platforms. Rumble being the widest distribution because we have all of our channels up there. Here's something interesting. Um, I finally moved to a corded impact wrench for doing work on the Humvee. Um, got another guitar that went up 6 days ago. Some more Humvee updates. There's some more that are going to go up here soon that I've shot a couple more videos I haven't had a chance to post yet. So lots of video content in the guitar space, the Humvee space. Maybe some 3D printing stuff will go up pretty soon as well. It's wherever my ADD takes me, the videos get posted. So lots more content coming in that area as well. Let's see here. We're about 45 minutes in. That's reviews that'll be published soon. So looking forward to all of those. I don't think we're going to do a Guitar Mageddon section this week. Um, Nothing really new happened. There have been a couple things, but nothing that's within reach that I can get to real easily that I want to talk about right now. So I will share on the other screen here. Let's see if I can move that down to make it a little bigger. A couple pictures you may have noticed on our thumbnails for this program. I was removing one of the run flat inserts on the Humvee, and it came out in a hurry. It actually smacked the front. I had it strapped to the front of the camo Humvee, and I was pulling it with the tan Humvee, and it actually came back and smacked the front of the tan one, left a little black mark on it, which I feel a little bit bad about. But I got the run flat out that I needed to get out, and I put the new seats with the racing harnesses in, and so I had to put these shoulder eye bolts in. So that one is from, what is it, RJ's Racing, and the other, I can't remember what the company was for the other one, but it's basically racing harness anchors that I put in. And I've got tires everywhere where I'm swapping tires out there to get the camo truck ready. So as soon as the injection pump gets changed, it'll be ready to drive. Yeah.
Nice.
So,
Cool.
oh, there we go. That's one of the run flat inserts. If you ever wondered, you know, the civilian Hummers for a while had the CTIS. What is it? I can't remember what that means. So, Central Tire Inflation System. So if they get a little low, or if you're going off road, you can air them down, you can air them back up. Well, the military Humvees don't have that. And instead, they have this rubber ring that is inside the tire. So the wheel is back there in black. And then this ring, it's a bead lock on the inside. So it locks the tire up against the wheel, because it's a two-piece wheel. You can see where that's in two pieces over there. And then, so that's inside, and I actually wanted to remove it. So here it is. I think I'd already pulled it out at that point. And here's the ring on the inside has the yellow strap, and the rest of it. I tried to do it this way, just strapping it to the other truck, and that didn't work. So I had to, I didn't like the angle it was pulling at, so I strapped it up a little bit differently there. But that was a little bit of what I've been working on lately, and then some different attempts to try to make the tires a little easier to seat on the rim without that bead lock inside. Didn't work as well as I'd hoped. I've got a bunch of tires that I've got to get seated up against the wheel and inflated here shortly, which will be hard to do because I broke my air compressor. My only working air compressor, I broke it today. So I'm going to have to figure something out with that. All right. We should put Boo ATF up there. All right. I think we have held out long enough. We're going to move to the Patch of the Week segment. So,
Yay!
yeah.
All right.
Here.
Ladies and gentlemen, the patch of the week is this guy here.
That is a neat patch.
Right? Anybody know what this is from?
I am blanking. I don't know.
This is probably one of the best firearms movies of the last decade. It's called War Dogs. This is Jonah Hill here, who is playing a arms dealer, gun runner. And in this scene, he pulls out his MP5 out of the trunk and fires it off in the middle of the street. And then he says, "It's okay. I've got a Class 3 firearms license." And it's pretty awesome.
Nice.
So that's pretty cool.
Watch that. I've not seen that movie. I'm gonna have to check that out. So where did you find that patch?
War Dogs. It's a really good movie. You'll love it.
Yeah. Where did you acquire that patch?
I don't quite remember. I got it. I think I got it when I went up to NRA.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it came from Indiana. when I was up at NRA last year,
Oh,
but it's just kind of cool patch. So NRA's coming up less than a month from now.
that's what I was just thinking is I
Yep.
don't think I'm going to be able to make it.
Yeah, it's the
Let's
16th through
see.
the 19th of May.
There it is.
It's
NRA.
in Dallas.
Right. You didn't say Indiana last year, did you?
Yeah, it was in Indianapolis last year.
Dang. It must have overlapped with something else I was doing because normally I would drive up for that.
Mm-hmm.
I was complaining to my wife that it was in Texas again. Yeah, after Houston it got canceled, and then they did Houston. Like they came back and did Houston, and I was like, when are they going to have it where I can drive to it again? And now it's back in Dallas. So,
Yep.
but timing wise, May 17 and 19. Let's see. I'm pulling my schedule up here on the other one. Yeah, technically, I could probably pull that off. I have a family trip the prior weekend, and then I have something else. Oh, I've got to go get some CPR and first aid training stuff the weekend after that. So I don't really want to be on the go 3 weekends in a row. So I think I'm going to skip NRA. I don't know if TJ is going to make it to that or not. I know he is talking about, he told me yesterday that he was going to make it to the primary, what is it? Primary arms. I think it was
Primary
primary
arms.
arms has a
Yeah,
range
range day.
day down in, it's probably in Houston. I'd have to go look at that note. I had sent it to him, said, hey, in case
Mm-hmm.
you didn't see it, because I'm not gonna make that one, I don't think.
I'll bet it's Dallas, right? They scheduled that primary arms range day the day before NRA when we went to Indianapolis. And I think they're
Ah,
probably going to do it in Dallas the day before NRA again, you know, from what I gather.
Waxahachie, Texas,
Waxahachie. Yep. That's just south of Dallas. That's where the
isn't it?
ETTS range is.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah, and I didn't know where that was. So that makes sense if they're doing it May 16th. And yeah, so that's right before.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And TJ was talking about doing just like a day trip to go to that. But I'm gonna have to remind him that that puts him like in town where he could do 2 days and go to the NRA show.
Right.
Yeah, that sounds pretty good. Cool.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep. Should be exciting.
yeah, I haven't made it to NRA since 2016. And every year it's like, well, I'm going to go to the next one. And then scheduling wise, it just never seems to work out. So,
This could be your year.
yeah, it could. I got too much going on this year already, though. So, let's see. Anything else we need to talk about? Because we are approaching our end time.
I don't think anything else. I think we're good to go.
Yeah.
Pretty
Okay.
solid.
All right. Well, everyone, thanks for being here. We appreciate. And Ghost shows up right as we're saying. I think we're going to wrap up. Ghost Tactical shows up. Still happy to see you, Ghost. Really appreciate it stopping by. But I think we have exhausted our topics for the evening. And with that, I'm going to welcome everyone to come back. And thanks to Sylvan Arms for sponsoring the program. They're sponsored it next week as well. So we'll be back at 9 p.m. Eastern on Thursday. There is a good chance there will not be a program the following week. So next week we'll be here. The following week, I have a personal conflict, and TJ's having computer problems. And long story short, we probably won't have a program in 2 weeks, but we will be here next week. So come back. We got lots of articles that should be published by then, lots of things to talk about. But until then, we'll see you at the range.